this gives me, I was wondering at what stage I will talk about the real estate field. So this gives me an opportunity just to give a snippet. Now, we have several laws that touch the real estate sector. The Registration of Titles Act, the Land Act, and the regulations thereunder. But it was necessary to have a specific legislation, a specific law to regulate the real estate sector. Because of lack of regulation, the public had lost confidence in the real estate sector. Because of lack of regulation, there was a lot of fraud, or there is, in the real estate sector. We believe and hope that with the introduction of this law, we are going to see tremendous changes in the sector. For example, we'll now have licensed agents. I actually pray that we do away with that word broker, because it has been abused, and yes, whatever I'm stating here is my opinion. It has been abused so much. I'm not saying that everybody who styles or holds themselves as a broker is a bad person. No. I have relatives who are brokers, so this is not personal. But because the word has been abused and people have abused it so much, I'm hoping that with the introduction of the title licensed agent, we'll now refer to all brokers as what? Licensed agents. Secondly, it gives us an opportunity to have a code of conduct to check the ethics and integrity. Under Ministry of Lands, I'm not a public official, and I pray to God that I never become. So I'm speaking as a private practitioner. But under Ministry of Lands, there will be a legal committee. I beg your pardon, there will be a committee in charge of the affairs of the licensed agents. They will check issues of ethics, they will check issues of integrity. This bill is not yet law. It is still going through the process, but we pray and hope that as soon as possible, it becomes law. So I thank Ministry of Lands for taking lead on this, and I hope that we have it in play very soon. So I allow me to emphasize this is not personal, but I maintain that until we have that law in place, until there's a professional body, not just an association for the licensed agents, the professionals that we shall continue referring to are the architects, the valuers, because we are certified by statute. But at least we see some mileage. I'm glad that MOVES is offering a course. I'm glad that we have an association that is a form of organization, and I'm glad that it is open to the public. That's why you will invite a simple man like me to come. I will be there. That is a very good gesture. And it does not take away in any way the fact that agents are part of the value chain. You are. The question is, how do we conduct ourselves? I'm not saying that every lawyer is a good person. We have a number of lawyers who are involved in fraud, but you must also note that we have many people who are holding out to be lawyers, yet they are not. So I want to give you a few tips on what to look out for. And by lawyer, I think we mean advocate. When you complete your bachelor's, you're just a lawyer. Until you go to LDC, pass that bar successfully, and you are enrolled as an advocate, you're not an advocate. So when you're doing your transaction, this is what you should do. And without fear of favor, where I come from, a customized scheme. One, ask the advocate for their practicing certificate for the year. Every year we are given a practicing certificate. And the law is clear. If you engage an advocate and they are not licensed for that particular year, whatever they do is nugatory, is of no legal significance. So ask them for example, this is 2023, come to Kalikumutima and say, I'm requesting to please look at your practicing certificates. The challenge that we have, other than the ignorance, fear, and whatever, is that people in this country do not know their rights. Many a times we let people treat us as if they were doing us favors. No, it is not a favor. If you're paying me, it is your right to ask for my practicing certificate. It is your right to inquire into the approval of my chambers. Every year our chambers are approved by law council. Find out, are your chambers approved? And depending on the nature or size of the project, ask me for my professional indemnity. If there is a challenge, you need a fallback position, and I must furnish you with a copy. And in our discussion, however small a project, if a lawyer or an advocate or an attorney, whatever you want to call them, does not give you a work plan, does not give you a budget, then you know that there is a what? There is a problem. Please look out for that. Now, I'll talk about briefly the issue of big shots in the news. I will not mention any names, but I took interest right from the one that started. I will not mention the name, to the most recent one. If you dig deep, you will see poor financial management. You will see greed. Yes, greed is a problem. That's why I was talking about love. And many of you were looking at me, this guy, like, did he come talk about love? Then you will see fraud. Because some of them were fraudulent, because some of them were poor financial managers, because some of them were too greedy, they ended up where they did. Now, as an investment advisor and a financial consultant, I will tell you that every business has its challenges. But I'll also tell you that the higher the risk, if you do your research, the higher the expected what? Return. You just need to know how to manage your what? Your risk. Someone was talking about borrowing, and I had someone know, debts are bad. No one should deceive you that debts are bad. No, they are not. When you're making your investment decisions, when you're making your financial decisions, when you're determining your capital structure, equity versus debt, engage professionals. There's a reason why they are there. They will advise you accordingly. Have you done your budgeting properly? Have you done your planning? Or are you just jumping in a business? Now it is grasshopper season. Because I come from Masaka, I'm going to sell grasshoppers. No, find out. How does this market work? Demand and supply. How do the forces look like? I'll quickly talk about the issue of land title. Please note, I'm not speaking on behalf of Ministry of Lands. I'm speaking as a practitioner who has practiced for several years, and I'm familiar with the practices of that ministry. Ministry of Lands has over 20 zonal offices. To be precise, 22. I thank God that the ministry decentralized with the support of the donors and more importantly with the support of the government of the Ministry of Uganda. The Wananchi in different parts of Uganda are able to get services. In the past, we would all crowd at the headquarters to be served. Services have been brought closer to the people. It is unfortunate. Why again I talked about love? Even for the few or the several things that are done right, people do not want to appreciate. In the past, we used to crowd. Now you can get a title somewhere. Finally, there are challenges, but the service has been brought closer to you. Now, in that structure, there is a PAS, a Principal Assistant Secretary, or a Principal Land Management Officer, who administratively is heading the zonal office. There is also a Senior Register of Titles, there is a Senior Staff Surveyor, there is a Senior Cartographer, there is a Planner.